What's up, fam? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Yep. Mic check. Yes, I can see the chat is working great. That is awesome. I see that's working. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit present. Boom. That way the entire screen should be covered now with our training for the day. How's everybody doing? Make sure you let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. I can see you, Kent. You are tuning in from Las Vegas. Let's go. What's up, Neff? How are you doing? Albert, Ben, what's up? How's everybody doing? Lissa, Adrian, I see you as well, brother. Good. We are live. Albert for South Florida. Let's go. Fort Worth in the house. Let's get it. So we're going to have an amazing training today. We're doing it here on YouTube because if I'm pretty sure, if I recall, it should get saved at the end. And that way you guys can come back to this, take notes that you might have skipped a little bit. Or if you are driving, you're in the middle of work, sneaking here a little bit, you can come back and take some notes later. What's up, Alexandra from New Orleans? What's up? So if you already know what the law of sealing is, it's a law I learned from John C. Maxwell. If you already know this law, drop me a 1 in the chat. If not, drop me a 2. I just kind of want to test the water, see how's everybody in what comes to this type of knowledge. 1, if you already know what the law of the ceiling is, and if you do, it's fine. Stick by, you'll be able to learn a little bit more. 2, okay, love it. It's kind of sounds really bad right now, but I would love to see a bunch of 2s because that way I know it can make some impact on you guys. Delaney dropping a 1. Okay, I see you, Delaney. I see you. Well, there might be a few things, a little different perspective how I like to see things as well when it comes to the law of the ceiling. But we're gonna go ahead and knock this off. Hopefully, get it done around 20 minutes or so. So let's get to it. Obviously, love when the chat's interacting, continue it that way. But we're going to speak about the law of the ceiling today. Law of the ceiling. Law of the ceiling, okay? So, first things first, before we even go into the actual chart here, not chart, before we go into the actual presentation here, I want to say something when it goes to this, right? And why I like this training, why I like this law. One of my favorite laws, the law of the ceiling, because I know the law of ceiling will change the way you move in the future. Why do I say that? Because it definitely impacted mine the moment that I learned about this law. So first off, what is the law of the ceiling? We need to go into that part. First things first, right? With the actual definition to what it comes into the book. Like I said, Maxwell, if you haven't read his books, amazing books, you go find multiple books that he has. But with Maxwell, he says the following: you will never outperform the image you hold of yourself. You will never outperform the image you hold of yourself, not because of lack of ability. It's because the mind stops where the belief stops. It's because the mind stops where the belief stops. If that already starting to trigger a little bit to where you're like, okay, I get that, I'm understanding that, drop me some 3s in the chat, because it's definitely important to understand the meaning itself, right? And if you feel yourself that you might be stuck on something, something's not working the way you want it to work, you're not getting what you really want, maybe that is why you need to understand, right? That you're never going to outperform yourself based off the image that you have of yourself. And it's not because you lack the ability. Nobody can tell you can't do something. You are able to do something, right? You're capable of doing so, but it's where the mind stops you is where the belief stops you. Your brain doesn't understand the difference between reality and beliefs, guys. And this is really where this training comes in place. This is why a lot of people don't know of this law maybe, or haven't seen this law, or maybe, again, you're stuck in some situation in life right now. Because, again, your brain, we have to understand how we work. We've spoken about in other trainings, you go in the passive conscious, subconscious, how that divides as above, so below. We've spoken a lot of different things, right? And how the brain is so important and how it works. But the brain doesn't understand the difference between reality and beliefs. It simply works based off the story that you create in your own head. It works based off the story you create in your own head. Many times we say, I can't. Many times we say, I don't want to, or this or that. It's yourself that you're telling yourself no. You're creating that story that you don't have the ability to do so when you do it. Just literally said it right now, right? It's not the lack of ability. It's your mind that stops where your belief starts. Where your belief stops. If you can say that you only can make $100, guess what? That's where your ceiling is. You created that ceiling. If you said I can only make 100, then that's all you could do. Now your brain, guess what? Now your brain has made that the ceiling. If you are creating the story of saying I could only make $100, then your brain is going to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I see Eddie just said 100, so I guess it's 100. That's the ceiling, right? That's it. The image you see yourself is the image the law of the ceiling paints. It's just a consequence of. That's all it is. So if you simply change the story, change the narrative, change the story, the law will change exactly the same. If you start saying positive things, if you start understanding that part, like, hey, I do have the ability to do so, and guess what? I do believe I can. It's law. It has to happen, guys. It's plain and simple. It has to happen. See yourself as that person before you become that person. That is the law of the ceiling. See yourself as that person before you become that person. I wrote that, and before we go into the training, I'm going to say one little thing quickly because I want to go ahead and read this to you guys, something that I actually posted. I know not everybody follows me on my Telegram groups, and that's perfectly fine, but I want to share something. I want to read something really quick that I just shared and I posted a few days ago. Where did I post that? I posted for the community, for the paid community. Where are you guys at? Boom. Mindset. Here you go. And I'm going to read this, okay? And then we'll go right into the training, okay? To fall asleep, you first have to pretend to fall asleep. Once you understand that, you'll understand everything in life, okay? To fall asleep, what do you have to do first to fall asleep? You close your eyes, and what do? You start telling yourself, I'm going to sleep. You start pretending you are going to sleep. And I said something to the paid community. I'm going to challenge you guys to do the exact same thing this week. I told my community, hey guys, put in your schedule this week. You need to actually see something you really want. Go see it in person. Feel it. If there's a house if you're right now wanting to purchase a house, guess what? I want you to go to an open house. Find your closest open house and go to that open house and walk in that open house and go to the real estate agent and ask him, hey, how much is this? Okay, perfect. When can I move in? All right, hey, does this have, like, as you're actually buying, put it in your brain that it's happening. Who says it's not happening again? Who's creating the story? It's you, right? If there's a car that you want, I don't want you to just go and touch the car. No, I want you to go sit in the car, take a picture in the car, ask the worker that's there, hey, could I connect my phone to this really quick to play my jam, like my song? Like, could I play really quick? Cool. Do you want to test drive? Please test drive. I don't care if you don't have the money to buy it. Guess what? You're creating the story. Go and test drive the damn car. If they're gonna, if they tell you, do you want to test drive it? Hell yeah, I want to test drive it. Test drive it. Sorry for those that work in the car industry and you're wasting your time. Guess what? It's for the better and bigger cause, okay? Because you have to keep it in mind too. If you're in the car sales business, guess what? You have right now what's called a dreamer right now, right? Dreaming, maybe wasting your time, but guess what? There's more probability of that person that's doing this exercise to come back and actually buy 10 of them than somebody that's just walking through and gets denied. Okay? Cool. So go out there, right? Do that. Go feel it. See it for yourself. Literally see yourself in it. If you don't have a clear picture of you living your goal, you'll never truly believe. Therefore, you'll never really have it. That is something that I shared with the community this week. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge you guys to the exact same thing. If this is something you think you could do, drop me a 4 in the chat. And then we're going to start now with the training because we're already 10 minutes in and we haven't even started yet. But I just wanted to make sure I shared that part with you guys so you truly understand why this is so important. So if this is something that you can challenge yourself to do, drop me some 4s in the chat. Let me know. Awesome. I see the lady dropping the 4s. Great. I start to see the 4s coming through the chat. Perfect. All right, now let's get to it. The law of the ceiling. Why your results stop where you stop growing. So, let me ask you something, guys, okay? Again, a real question. Let me ask you guys. Why do you think that some traders are stuck at making maybe $200 a day, right? This may be you. You're making $100, $200 a day. Cool. But then you turn on TikTok, YouTube, everything, social media, you speak to other people in the community, and they're making $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 days. Why do you think that, right? No, it's not strategy, so don't try to go and learn a new strategy. It's not that. It's not a new indicator. It's not new this. It's not that, okay? No, it's not the market. No, it's not the market. And no, it's not even capital at the end of the day. The majority will think that it's capital. Well, they made 10,000 because they have the more money. No, it's not even that either. It's your ceiling. Just take responsibility for it. It's you. That's the reason here. Again, you have to ask the question right. Because right now I'm saying, why do some traders stay? When you start asking yourself, why am I stuck at making 100 while others are making 1,000? Right? I, meaning you're setting that ceiling, right? Again, this is taught by John C. Maxwell. And something that John C. Maxwell says is your level of leadership determines your level of effectiveness. Your level of leadership determines your level of effectiveness. Those that were in the training with me on the 1099 training, you guys had that training and you guys know that you're business owners, right? And a business owner is what? A leader. So you are actually leaders. So your level of leadership doesn't mean that you have to have a huge team and this and that. No. You are leading your own self. You are leading your own business. Therefore, your level of leadership will determine your level of effectiveness, right? Today, we're going to flip that a little bit. Obviously, we're going to go more into the trading side of things, but we need to understand that your level of mindset your level of mindset determines your level of income. Your level of mindset determines your level of income. You don't rise above your ceiling, you get rejected by it. That one's a little bit tough, right? I'm sure that probably hurt a little bit of y'all, but hey, that's part of it. It's tough love, okay? So what is your ceiling? We need to understand first, what is your ceiling? Your ceiling is the invisible limit you operate under, okay? You cannot see this ceiling. If you look above yourself, I'm sure you can see a ceiling right now. This ceiling is invisible, which actually is a really good thing, guys, right? Because, like, blessed to have the house that we have right now, our ceilings are pretty tall. They're like 11, 12 foot tall ceilings, but I could see it, right? But guess what? The ceiling of how much I can make in the charts, what I could do as an impact and what I do in the secret society, I can't see that ceiling, guys. So imagine how far it is, right? It's depending how you want to see the perspective of it. So the point is where? I mean, if your ceiling is invisible, right? And the ceiling is the point where what? So we understand where are those ceilings. Put some examples to it, right? The ceiling is the point where you start hesitating. How many times have you been in life in itself making a decision, let alone trading? Have you hesitated? Let me know. Drop some ones in the chat or just say me. If you've hesitated, if this resonates to you. How many times have you broke your rules? Right? That's your ceiling. How many times have you self-sabotage yourself? You get emotional. That's your ceiling. You control that point. You got emotionally triggered. You had a ceiling. You stopped executing. Right? These where ceiling points are. Sound familiar, right? Disciplined. What, you want to be disciplined until you're up big, until your account's all the way up there? You're following your plan, what? Until you lose 2 trades, then you're going to follow your plan? You're confident, what? Until news hits? Powell speaks, now you're not confident? What happened? Where's that ceiling? Your skill might be higher, but your identity isn't. So you need to understand that, right? It's not random. When these situations happen, it's because your ceiling is kicking in. So results drop back down to what your mind believes you deserve. Your results drop back down. You can write this one down if you would like. That's what I'm repeating. Every time you catch me guys seeing things 2-3 times, it's for that reason. Your results drop back down to what your mind believes you deserve. So, we're going to put this in trading now, how the actual ceiling looks in trading, right? Let's talk as a trader, the trader behavior, right? You're on a winning streak, right? Awesome. It's happened to us. You're on a winning streak. What typically happens? What suddenly begins to happen magically out of nowhere? You start over leveraging. You abandon, you forget about RST completely. You start chasing trades. You start thinking you're him. And I always tell you guys, think you're him, say it out loud, but you have to really believe it, not just completely kind of forget about everything. Him or her, you guys actually have to follow through rules, right? But when you start just thinking, you are untouchable at that point. This level isn't normal for you, so what happens? It brings you back down. This is where you have to understand where this ceiling is and how to work towards that ceiling. And what happens when you're on a losing streak, right? Let's flip it. Losing streak. You start hesitating on valid setups. You don't pull the trigger. You're supposed to go. You're going in and you're not going in. You're closing your trade super early. Again, this is a little fine line situation because I always say there's no such thing as closing a trade early, but when you're in this ceiling situation, you are actually closing them early. Meaning you're not moving your stop losses accordingly. You're not letting the ATM do what it's supposed to do. You're just simply closing early now because you're on a losing streak. Winning, right? Winning constantly isn't normal for you. So you're sabotaging this. You're the one who put that ceiling, right? This is why I always say, right? It's not about the trade, right? It's about the trader. One trade doesn't define you as a trader. I always say this, right? Your system doesn't fail. If you build a system and your system is solid, the system is never going to fail you. Your ceiling does. That's what fails you, is your ceiling. So if you think right now, like, man, I had a system and I was doing this and I was doing that and then still not having the results you're having, again, what is happening that you're not wanting to actually acknowledge that you may not be following, you may not be doing right? There's something there that's off, which is your ceiling. Your real problem, right, that you're having right now, if you are having these type of situations, is your identity. We spoke about this on the 1099 trading. We spoke about this on the last one as well, as identity, how important it is in identity to understand who you are, what you bring to the table, right? What you're capable of. We're speaking about these things right now. So here's where it gets real, right? Your ceiling is not based on your knowledge. It's actually based on your identity. And if you've seen people in the community where they come in and they're brand new and they've never traded and they have immediately just nothing but ups, past their challenge in a matter of days, weeks, they're getting withdrawals, and here you are a year into it and it's still not happening, they might be in a very strong position when it comes to identity, understanding themselves and having a powerful mindset where they're going to follow the system, but their ceiling is high, their ceiling is acknowledged, they're training on elevating their ceiling, while you're just focused on what? Trying to learn the charts, the knowledge side of things of the charts. It's two very different things, right? And it kind of sucks, but that's what it is in trading, guys. If deep down you believe I'm still learning, I'm not consistent yet, big money isn't for me, guess what? That is your ceiling. And again, this applies in anything, guys. I'm speaking a little bit more trading, but if you're watching this here with me right now and you're not in the community, you're not trading, this still applies for you, right? Either if you're in school, you're at work, you're in a career, you're in a family, whatever that may be, if you are deep down believing this, guys, then that is your ceiling. That's it. But there's always things you could do, guys, right? What can you do? You can study all day, right? We know that part. You can watch the strategies, you could join mentorships, there's things you could do, right? But if your identity doesn't upgrade, your income won't either. Yes, you could study, you could learn new strategies, you could have mentorships, that's fine, you're learning, that's awesome. You're working on yourself, you're improving yourself, but are you actually improving your ceiling? You need to have that identity, you need to understand and acknowledge at that point. So, when you're winning, right, you need to understand that one. You're winning, you kind of stay stuck in that part, and that's good. You want to kind of stay stuck on certain things. When you're winning, you stay stuck on winning. When you're losing, you stay stuck on losing. You don't want to do that part, but you want to acknowledge to it. When you see yourself as a professional, guess what? That's identity. But you can't fall into hopelessness either. Again, it's a fine line situation. We're thinking about psychology here, mindset side of things. So you have to understand that, yes, you have to see yourself as professional, but you can't see yourself either just as a hopeful situation. It can't be I'm a professional and hopefully it stays that way. No, like, you need to make sure that you set your ceiling, you follow through, and you fight through. If everybody's following with me, drop some fives in the chat. If everybody is still tracking here with me, just want to make sure everybody's here. Again, this is a lot to take in. I'm trying to smash it here in the matter of like 20 minutes or less, which I know we're over, but hey, you guys know how it is. You guys are here, so you already know how it is. But just want to make sure everybody's following. Awesome, Albert. Cool. Now, here is obviously one of the most important parts. You definitely want to take notes here because we're going to look at how to break your ceiling. I don't want to just come here and tell you guys, hey, this is a definition of what a ceiling is. Good luck, y'all. Cool. Let's go viral. Like, that's not point to it, right? We're here to actually train. This is a training call. So we know that there's a problem. There has to be a solution to it. So let's speak about solutions, right? This is where separation has, and I've spoken about separation in the past, right? It's important for you guys to understand that you separate. We need to separate from the rest. Cool. So you need to ask yourself one thing first, right? We need to make sure we have that awareness situation. Cool. Awareness. You can't break what you don't see. We need to break this ceiling, right? So we need to see this ceiling. Even though it could be invisible, we need to see this ceiling. So ask yourself, where do you consistently mess up? What's going wrong? Again, if it's trading, if it's in life, where are you consistently messing up? Where are you consistently doing things you're not supposed to, which you're having consequences later that you're not happy with, right? That is your ceiling. So we need to be aware of it. Once you're aware of it and you find where that ceiling is, now we need to work on it. Without being aware of it, it's never going to happen, guys. Yes, you need to stick yourself into a position where you're believing, right? And we need to believe that, yes, we are going to perfect what we do and we're going to be the best that we can. And we need to have those positive self-speech. We just saw Michael Jackson at the theater, the movies, and it was great. And something that I loved from that movie was how he had on his mirror the sticky notes of all the affirmations before he recorded, how he was telling himself, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Like, that is so important. But you need to be aware at the same time of what you are consistently mess up. You can't come here and continue to tell yourself, I'm the best this, right? Or I'm the best at this, when you're actually not, because you're messing something up. You need to fix that first. So awareness is super important. Now, 2 is going to be raising your standards, right? Not your goals, guys. Not your goals. Your standards. Everybody likes to look at goals. We do goal searching. We do goal prepping. We have a training actually for the paid community on that, how to be able to set your goals, follow your goals through. Goals are super important, right? Something that I always say, a goal without a plan is just a dream, right? So we're not just here dreaming. We're not just here writing goals. We need to follow standards, right? Standards is super important. Standards create identity. If throughout these last couple minutes I've been speaking and I've been touching so much on identity, and you're like, how, right? How do I know who I am, who I'm supposed to be? That identity situation, well, guess what? Standards are going to create your identity. So you need to start by building those standards, right? If your goals say, I want to make $1,000 a day in trading, what does that mean? Then your standards to say what? I'm only going to execute A+. I'm going to follow RST. I'm going to stay disciplined, right? Those standards create identity, right? If you say, hey, I'm in college right now, I'm in school, and I want nothing but straight A's, cool. So what does that mean? What are your standards? My standards, I'm going to be on time on class. I'm going to make sure that I study. I'm going to make sure that I'm always attentive. I'm asking questions. There's those things that you do, those actions that you do are going to be able to create that standard, which that will become your identity. Super, super important. Number 3, stack proof, right? Stack proof. I love this one, stack proof. And this one's really cool because this is something that falls into what I challenge you guys to do, right? Stack proof. Your brain needs evidence. Remember when I said your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and belief, right? We create that story. We need to feed our brain with evidence to believe, right? So in trading, start small, right? Follow your RST plan just for one day. Start off then 2 days, then 5 days, right? Then your brain, what is your brain going to say? This is who I am. This is my identity. This is the standard. You gave enough to your brain in evidence to where all that had to happen is, guess what? The law of the ceiling had to follow through. The ceiling was made. The identity was formed based off those actions. Now your mind, your brain only knows one thing and one thing only. It knows to follow RST. And that's what I was saying. Like, if there's a house, if there's a car, go see it, because your brain's not going to know. Like, literally, you could go ahead, you could have it on your screensaver, have it everywhere you see it, talk about it all the time. Your brain is going to hear of you showing the images, showing in person, showing whatever, telling people. It's going to hear constantly through your brain that you're feeding, you're giving it evidence. It's going to say, hey, this is mine. And now you're going to go for it. Number 4, control the moment. Control the moment. Your ceiling will show in pressured moments. And what happens in pressured moments? A lot of people shut down. When there's so much pressure, what do? I'm done. The pressure builds up, you shut yourself down, you don't see your ceiling, right? How are you going to work on your ceiling? How are you going to be aware of your ceiling? How are you going to raise your standards? How are you going to stack proof? How are you going to do everything that I'm telling you when under moments of pressure, you fold, you run? Before each trade, right? Are you on plan? Is your risk corrected? Are you emotional? If not, then don't trade. That's it. Today we only took 1.5 trades. That's it. Just wasn't there. If the pressure would have got to me, then guess what, guys? We would have been like 0 and 5 accounts blown. None of y'all would be here on this call right now. I'm sure everybody would have canceled. I didn't fold under pressure, right? What do you do when you're under pressure? Just slow down. Take a breath. Slow down. Observe, right? And follow that system which you created, which is part of your identity, right? That's how you break the ceiling in real time. Because once it actually happens, you're going to be like, wait a second, like, this is who I am now, right? You followed through, you created the standards, you followed the standards, moment of pressure happened, everything was stress tested at that time. And in that moment, you took control. You just broke through that ceiling, and guess what? Now that ceiling has to go higher and higher and higher each time. But you need to identify it. All right, let me keep on going. Number 5, environment. Environment is super, super important, guys. I'm very, very, very picky with that environment. I learned the hard way for sure, being around the wrong people most of my life, growing up, the last couple of years, everything the whole nine, being around the wrong people. That is super important. Your environment is key. What you see, who you're around, who you speak with, it is very important. Because guess what? If you're around a bunch of undisciplined traders, guess what you are, right? There's an important saying that's used a lot in Spanish or in Mexico, which in Spanish translates somewhat to tell me who you are with, and tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are, right? So this is very important, right? Because at the same time, your environment becomes your ceiling. If you're around a bunch of people that are negative, doing the wrong things, getting in trouble, guess what's going to happen? That's your ceiling now, right? Why do you think so much, those that are community members here, paid members, why do you think that I push so much for you guys to say, hey guys, safely post results in the results tab? Like, your names won't show, it's okay, don't worry about it. Obviously we do everything correctly, but it's like, post your results, post your accountability, moments of discipline, post them like, hey, today this happened to me, good or bad, post that, right? Because the environment either will raise you or will limit you. That's it, one or the other. It stops you or it lifts you. There's no in between on your environment. There's no neutral environment. Either that environment's going to take you to the top or it's going to bring you all the way to the bottom. That's it. And that's why I push so much for the community to be like that, right? Now, we're going to close out here. We're pretty much done, guys. So thank you guys for staying here still so long this time. So this is what I'm going to leave you guys with, okay? Your life, your trading, your income, right, will never outperform your mindset for long. You might spike above your ceiling temporarily, right? But you'll always come back down until you become the person that can live there. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Have you ever had those situations to where it's like, damn, I was on a run, I was making money nonstop 3-4 days, I wasn't losing trades, the next thing, boom, you're down, and you're down, and you don't understand what's happening and what's going on. It's like a little fake out situation. It's like a little wick out situation. We get sometimes manipulated in real life as we do in the market, guys. The only way to be able to break that ceiling and remain above it, to continue to break through new ceilings, is until you become that person that can actually live there. So the real question here is, guys, who do you need to become to handle the level you say you want? That level of trader, of person, of everything, career wise, whatever you want to speak on, whatever you're doing right now, whatever your focus is, right? Who do you need to become to be able to handle that level? So when that pressure hits, you could actually control that moment. It's not about just hitting the next level, guys. It's not just about that. It's about becoming someone who can stay there, who can actually maintain that level. Why do you think there's so many people that win the lotto? They go bankrupt in a matter of months. They lose everything, right? They never worked their way up to that level. They just simply woke up, they won it, and the next thing you know, in a blink of an eye, it's gone. Break your ceiling or live under it forever, guys. Break your ceiling or live under it forever. It's your choice 100%. Stop focusing on so much on the strategy. Start upgrading the actual trader yourself. This is your choice. It's your choice 100%. The time is now, guys. It's your choice. If you're tired of hitting the same ceiling over and over and just not breaking it, continue to going down, then it's time to stop focusing again on just the strategy. Start upgrading the trader behind the screen. As crazy as it is, guys, you want to become better traders, you might want to shut down TradingView. And what we do in the Secret Society, this is what we do inside the Secret Society. It's not just about a quick little in and out situation, right? We're actually building traders for the long run, guys. This is what we do. This is our plan. And this is why I always say what? What do I always say, guys? It's not about getting to the top. It's about who you could bring. That's all it is. It's not about getting to the top. It's about how many people you could bring with. That's all it is, guys. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Hopefully this recording stays recorded. And if not, then hey, you took notes. And until the next time, and as always, just for good sake, it's not about getting to the top, but it's about how many people you could bring with, guys. So see you guys at the top. Peace.